Excellent. A very warm welcome to day 17 of the Amazon 10K challenge, where we take a product from not knowing what it is all the way up to $10,000 of revenue every single month on Amazon, about $4,000 of profit every single month for you to get you that financial freedom that you need. If you haven't seen the first 16 days, definitely go back and watch them, and then meet us back here where we are going to be going through the sample of the product that we just got, which is super exciting. I've got some videos here I want to walk you through and tell you my thoughts on the item and how I'm going to change it for the second order, and what I'm going to tell my graphic designer. Basically the action steps once you get your sample and you don't like some things about your product, what to do, and if you do love your product, what to do in that case as well. But before we jump into that, I want to check in on our expenses. Hasn't moved since yesterday, so we're still at $36.54 total expenses. We got a $4,000 budget to make $4,000 profit a month, which is a incredible return on your money. Our unit cost was $6.30. We've bought 500 scratch maps, which is our product, and I can pull up just this video I'm going to show you. This here is the scratch map that we've bought and is the product that we're going to be selling. And they cost us $6.30 each, including express shipping into Amazon. Before we jump in, make sure that you are part of our Amazon FBA entrepreneur community, where we're all working together to help each other out, giving our success stories, asking questions. This is turning into quite the booming community of over 700 members now, and we do giveaways in here. I'm going to give away a coaching call as soon as we get to 1,000 members. So a link is in the description. Join and start making friends for everyone who's going through the same process that you are, and start asking for advice and giving advice if you know some stuff. The Amazon FBA Masterclass, this transparent launch series has been a huge success, and a lot of people love it, but it's not enough to launch your product with by itself. If you still have questions or uncertainties, this is a 12-hour masterclass with everything that I've ever learned in launching over 12 successful products on Amazon FBA is in this course. You can get a $200 discount by using the link in the description. But once again, this is the exact step-by-step formula, going through all options, going through all the questions and uncertainties that you have. This will walk you through hand in hand from finding your product all the way through to making it a best-selling product, and then expanding that product to $1 million brand. So definitely grab a copy of the masterclass if you haven't already. Awesome. So it's finally time to actually see our product in the flesh. We have received samples of our product. I'm going to be showing you a few videos I took earlier today of that product and walking you through my thoughts and the next steps. So let's go and see the product that we have created together. Don't miss out on this. We are giving away an Amazon product idea that I personally found that will make you over $5,000 every month, $1,000 of PayPal cash to buy your stock, and a fast-track Amazon FBA coaching session to ensure that you launch your product perfectly. To win, all you need to do is subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment below why you want to start an Amazon FBA business. Enter now, then let's jump into this video. So really quick before we jump into these videos, this is our product that we're launching together. It's a large premium full color scratch off world map, also known as a scratch map, and it's a traveling map. It's not a traveling map. It's a map that when you travel, you can scratch off the countries that you've been to, and it's going to emphasize the color below the countries, because it's going to have a gold layer over the top, and it's going to show you the countries that you've traveled to. So just going through it really quickly, it's going to be really large and quite thick on a laminated poster. We've got beautiful bright colors designed. You can see here this bright pink and the bright greens and the yellows and the bright blues in Europe. We have easy scratch technology, so we are making sure that it's really easy to scratch off and it doesn't rip or tear the map underneath. It's going to be high quality, and it's going to be 100% up to date and accurate with the current geographic state of the world. So they are our unique selling propositions. The biggest proposition is that it's big, and then these ones will fall under it as supporting propositions. So that's our item. Let's go and have a look for the first time. I've ordered samples. These are in my Australian house. So I ordered samples to hear from the supplier, all included in the original cost. And the rest are obviously going to USA to be shipped into the Amazon warehouse, and I walked you through how to do that about 4 days ago now, so probably around day 13 if you are looking for that. We created a shipping label and shipped them into the Amazon warehouse. These are just the samples that have arrived here, so we can see them and photograph them and make the photos for our listing out of them. So I'm just going to mute this. You can see this is the map, and I put this is about a credit card. It's a little Mikey's, like a little tram pass or a train ticket pass in Australia. It's the same size as a credit card, so you can see how big and nice the map is in comparison to that. Now, when looking at your sample, and when I looked at my sample, I'm looking for things that are wrong with it. So overall, I actually really liked this sample, and I thought I think we have a great product and the making of a great product. I'm just showing you how big this is with my hand. Yep, thumbs up overall. A couple of things, and I'll go to the next video while I tell you what my thoughts are. I think the colors aren't actually bright enough, / they're not actually printed as brightly. So if we look at Russia here, as they are in the listing. So you can see there's a nice pink here, and we put them side by side. Well, that's a darker. You can see one's a sort of deep red, and this one's a bright pink. And even though we gave our suppliers the exact color Pantone of the color that we wanted, / the color that was on Photoshop, it still seems to have printed a lot duller. Which initially I was like, oh, that's not good, because I think they don't have the capacity to print really bright. Maybe it's the technology that they use. But then I had a look at Iceland. You can see Iceland and the bottom of South Africa down here, and even Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. They're actually really bright. The yellows of Korea, they're really quite bright. And if we look at our map design, that's my dad. I'm just going to quit Viber. So no more I'll quit WhatsApp too, so you don't have to get pulled into my personal life. So here we are. Have a look at how bright on the design Papua New Guinea and Indonesia are. That's down just above Australia. Those bright greens, and then over to Iceland, you can see it's really, it's almost washed out in this photo. And where the bright pink and the bright blues in Europe not as bright here. They're a lot more dull. And when it was washed out on the design, it's actually appeared really bright. So the very first change I'm going to make to this is to change these colors to match this photo. Now, this is one of the big points of this day today, day 17, is we are not halting production. We're not stopping selling maps just for a minor speed bump. Your first product doesn't have to be perfect. The listing should be amazing, but the product doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You're happy with it. Every single order we make is going to have changes and adaptations to our product. And that way, we're constantly building a better and better product every time we reorder, to the point where our competition just can't catch up, because every time we reorder, we make a slight improvement. Our colors get brighter, our map becomes a better quality paper, we have a different design, we have a different sort of color that they can choose with it, and slowly we get so far ahead of our competitors, it's just too late for them to catch us, especially if they try and do it all at once, because we're doing incremental improvements. Because as you can see, it's never going to be, or it's rarely going to be exactly what you wanted, and you just have to push forward through that. And then talk to your supplier, talk to my designer, and put them in touch and be like, how can we get these colors on this map? Which is what I'm doing right now, well ahead of time, because we won't be reordering for at least a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, but they're already being put in touch. We're already going over new colors that we want. So that was the first thing, because we do also advertise that we got full true color. We want this nice bright color that stands out. So we really do want, also this is videoed a little bit in the dark too. This is more in the light. You can see it's a little bit brighter than that one. I'm just going to zoom in. You can see our logos down there, which we got designed really cheap. We got a little website down there. Not going to do much with the website for now, but maybe in the future, so I'll just put that on there. You can see Australia. You can see that the scratch actually comes off really easy. There's a little bit of residue left here, but it does scratch off really easily, and I think I'll show you that a little bit later. You can see all these colors. It's nice and simple, and I compare it to one of our competitors, which I've ordered and put side by side in an upcoming video. You can see it's a scratch. It's my left hand really awkwardly, but it comes straight off. This is our scratcher. So this is the second thing we want to improve. This is just a random looking guitar pick, And even though it scratches a lot better than the metal scratcher, which we also got and tested, some people do metal scratches, some people do plastic guitar picks. The guitar pick was at least twice as easy to scratch things off, so that's what we went with. But it's just a random rainbow color. We would really like, say, a jet black scratcher with our little Odyssey maps in white across the middle of it to make it look really trendy. You can see everything that you get with your sample, and I do recommend that you do get a sample, especially if it's the first time you work with your supplier. We ordered our products and the sample at the same time in interest of this series to make it move quickly and show you that things don't have to be perfect. But I do recommend you getting a sample shipped to you. Samples I get a lot of questions about. They are going to be a little bit more expensive generally if you don't have a relationship with the supplier, or they're worried that you're not going to do business with them. It may be you have to pay express post because they want you to get as quite fast as possible, and then it'll be sometimes they won't actually send you your specific sample, so they might send you a generic world map or a generic scratch map instead of yours, because like we can't really load up the whole printer and print just one copy for a sample. And if they do, maybe it's going to be really expensive. So sometimes a sample can be up to $80 to $400 depending on what your product is, but most of the time it is worth it. And I have to recommend that you do it to be safe, so like a doctor's recommendation. But you can also not do it and take that risk. That's totally up to you and your supplier. Another way to do it that is potentially a cheaper way if you're on a really tight budget is to get them to make the product in their factory and then send you photos of the product instead of just sending you additional photos, instead of just having to ship it across the world and creating a custom one. That might also be good enough for you if you're on a really tight budget. So this one was our barcode. You can see I've printed it at the bottom of the tube, which I'll show in just a second. It's printed on, so it's not a sticker, so it's really easy. It's not going to fall off. It's not too much on a curve, because you're not allowed to put barcodes on real steep curves. This one's basically flat because it's a decent sized tube. And you can see it's really clear and quite nice, just a glossy finish that's not too obtrusive for the product. And you can see up here this finish on the left hand side is not perfect, and I'll show you that in another video too. This is something I'm going to work with my supplier to fix, because the tube is very nice quality. The tube is super thick, quite heavily weighted, which is great for not great for shipping, but great for like you get it and oh, that feels like a quality tube. But the top of the tube here had like frayed plastic, as you can see. I'm going to be changing that maybe to metal ends, or maybe to just plastic ends that aren't frayed. And basically, I'm just going to send my supplier a photo of this. This is how I do it. I say, hey, how can we make the end of this tube not have plastic bits coming out? Can you do that? And he would say yes or no. It's like, can we change it to a different material? Can we do this? And you just work with him, again, slowly and consistently, to change things one by one. And I would introduce things one by one to him. I wouldn't say, hey, I want to change this, 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 and this. I'd go one by one, get a solution, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And basically, it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to be selling them in the background anyway. So going back to this scratch thing, another small problem we had, you can see they misprinted our logo here. And he says that this was a printing error and they can fix it in the next one. Again, we have 500 units in Amazon, on the way to Amazon, that have this printing error, and it's totally fine by me. I'm not stressed out about it at all. It's a really small error. No one's going to be like, whoa, where's the O in Odyssey on the packaging? Oh, I'm going to leave a 1-star review. It's a very, very minor error, and it'll be fixed the next time, so it'll be 500 units, and then that'll be done with this error. And it'll be having our normal logo. I'm not stressed about it, and you shouldn't be stressed about small things. So this is our map. You can see it's really well printed on there. Nice shiny tube with our little call to actions at the bottom. You can see we've printed sort of like country outlines on the actual tube. And then I think I go into the top. Yeah, you can see the top a little bit damaged here because it overhung. And then there's some plastic bits coming out the top there. Opening it up, so I just opened it up. This is how it looks. It's coiled up there, obviously, and it's coiled with a tissue paper overlay. And the tissue paper overlay does two things. One, also you can see how nice and thick that cardboard is. It's a really nice tube. One, the tissue overlay makes the product seem more expensive because it's well packaged. It also protects the map from getting scratched during shipping. So there's 2 reasons for that, and that worked really well. I tried to take the map out, but just pulled the tissue paper and it just started ripping. So I can't really do that with one hand, but I was very happy with the tube. You can see it's actually quite a skinny tube, which is cool. You can get obviously cheaper post because of that. And yeah, I just have one more of, oh no, I had a couple more videos. So this is just the tissue paper, really thin tissue paper. That's pretty straightforward. I have a video of comparing my map to a competitor's map. Here we go. So this was a competitor's map. I can't remember the exact brand name that were found, and we just wanted to see if ours is significantly better, which I concluded that it was. I much prefer mine. Your opinion might be different, but I think in general most people will say that this is a much nicer design. It's much more simplistic, which we know people want because we went through those reviews, and it's less crowded and much better colors. So this color seems a little washed out. It's got little like emoticon things, which was cool. But you can just see like that Australia compared to that Australia. As is much more simplistic. Again, we want to brighten those colors up. Theirs you can see was a shiny back material, and ours is more of a matte finish, which I much prefer that matte finish. They get like a white trim on the outside, which I think cheapens it. Ours is a black trim. Theirs was much harder to scratch off. There's that matte finish I was comparing compared to that shiny finish. And then they have the flags down the bottom, which was a cool little addition, but I do think it just overcomplicates the entire map, and it adds a lot of space to it. I don't know if I got a zoomed out photo, but our map is also quite significantly bigger. So it doesn't look like it here because they got the flags on the bottom. But our map is quite a bit bigger and definitely much wider, and I really like that part of it. So the takeaway here is definitely feel free to buy your competitors' products, get them shipped to your house if it's in your budget, and look through them, see what you like about them, see what you don't like about them, see how they're packaging their items, see what they're doing that you can't see on their Amazon listing, and then be in touch with your supplier and say, hey, how can we replicate this? How can we replicate that? In terms of our samples that we got, I was super happy with our map sample. Let me know your thoughts on that map sample too. Comment below because I'd love to hear what you're thinking about it. It's super easy to scratch off, so I'm very happy to go ahead and start selling these 500 units. We are waiting on the photos, and then we should be ready to launch, which will be really exciting. If you like this video, definitely leave us a like below and leave us a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in day 18.